What's that? Elaborate. Where's that at? South Africa. Did people going to slavery on ships? You said more than likely. Let me ask you a question. How you feel about slavery?
Just overall in this?
I mean, how it make you feel?
It ain't right, but I feel like, I don't know. It's just one of them sensitive things to talk about. You know, it's not right. So like, you don't want to think about it all the time. You know it ain't right.
Right. So do you believe that the people that did that to us, they gotta pay for that? Did they ever pay for that?
I mean, the people that did it to us really, like, realistically ain't like alive anymore.
So, but you have people who are inheriting the rape, robbery, and murder, stealing, pillaging, right? The fortunes of slavery.
Yeah, but like another crazy thing though, it's like it all kind of
Hey, King, step up for me real quick. All right.
We're having a home inspection.
So, bring this up.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
If ye will not hear, if ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart to give glory unto my name,
right,
saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you.
He said, the Most High said he was going to send a curse upon our people, you know?
I will even send a curse upon you.
Right?
Hey, come here. Come here. Hey, go, come here.
God, all praise to the Most High.
God.
All praises.
Yeah, see, I like, you know what I mean? I could have chosen.
Come hear the words of the Lord.
We gotta make sure.
We hear some more.
Hey, why would I tell something? Make sure that we know our own. We know everybody is doing something our own. Right, real quick, give me Job 8:8. What's going on, Kim?
I ain't no king, I'm a Pharaoh. Job 8:8.
Bring it out.
And it reads, for inquire, I pray thee of the former age.
Right, so hey, it's important that our people inquire of the former age. Right, we gotta inquire the past. Right, not just the 1960s. Right, not just the 1600s. We gotta go further. We gotta go past that. Right, and inquire the former age. Read.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Right, we gotta prepare ourselves for the search of our fathers. Right. I'll bring you something.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
If ye will not hear, and ye will not lay it to heart to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you.
So, hey, this is saying, hey, if we didn't recognize what our mission was while we was here upon this earth, right? Keep it to heart, right? And follow our Most High, right? That, hey, he was going to send a curse upon us, right? Or I even feel like this, he was going to send a curse upon a particular group of people.
Right.
If I asked you who was cursed upon the earth, what people just seem like they cursed? Whatever they do, they just can't prosper. What people would you say that?
People was bound and shackled and that was separated through the four corners of the earth that don't know their native language.
I'm glad you said that, right? Finish reading that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 32.
I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings.
Right, he said I will curse your blessings, read.
Yea, I have cursed them already.
He said, hey, we already cursed them already. That's why you see a particular people on the face of the earth by nationality who it seems like whatever they do, it just won't prosper. Right, bring this out. And I'm glad you said what you said. You said people who are scattered through the four corners of the earth, they don't know their native tongue, their native language, right? They don't know, hey, bond is shackled, right? Give me Isaiah 42 and 22, right? Bring this up.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
I said, I will scatter thee like I would scatter them into corners.
Right, he said, I will scatter them into corners. Right, read on.
I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
He said, I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. That don't mean people just go, we just gonna disappear off the face of the earth. That's saying what? That's saying, hey, the remembrance of how great these people were, the remembrance of who these people are, the remembrance right, of their name, right? The power that they have, the royalty that they come from, right? Hey, it's gonna cease from among men. All right?
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22.
Look it out.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
People on the earth, you say is robbed and spoiled. Who's been robbed and spoiled? What? The white man has been robbed and spoiled? Who? He the one doing it.
Right. That's right.
So who the people on the earth?
Taxpayer.
You said what? Non-tax. So they're being robbed and spoiled? Right? What people not being treated fairly? What people
Black
literally
people.
had their land taken away from us? What people don't have their nationality no more? What people, like the brother said, don't even know they native?
Niggas. Us niggas.
That's right.
So-called black people. And I say so-called because you're not black. Right? That's the color out of a crayon. You can't speak the language
I
black.
got Indian in my
Right? Hey, we can't speak the language black. We can't go to the land called black. Right? You go to Indianapolis airport and say, hey, I want one ticket to the land of black. And they might drug test you.
Right.
Right? Read on.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. And they are hid in prison houses.
Right? What people being thrown and filling up the prison houses? What
niggas.
Right.
This sound like
Us
us.
colored people.
That's right. Give me Zechariah 34.
That's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5.
Look it out.
Whose possessors slay them.
Right? It said, whose possessor slay them? Wouldn't y'all say we're being possessed by somebody? Right? Are we, is this our land? Or are we in the land of somebody else and it's called America? Right? When we pay, say, what thing? But my question, right? Who's our possessor? Who possesses this land right now? Right? Stay with me, kids. Stay with me, brothers. Stay with me, brother. What's your name, kid? Justin. All right, Justin. What people on the earth, right? Or not even that? Who possesses this land? Whose land is this? Right. Brother, it is. He make the look. The white man is the one that make the rules on this land. That we live on. He the one that make the taxes that to let you know. Look, he's gonna be 7%, 8%. You said
White
what?
man went to the hieroglyphs of Egypt and seen 12.
Brother, if a bill is gonna get passed,
got everything
who's the
off
one
us.
that's passing?
Right.
The white man, brother.
If you go to, if you, bills,
Ooh.
Brother,
niggas out here getting bills passed.
no, brother, no, it's not. We're not passing no bills, right?
Oh.
We didn't create a
Wars
jaywalking.
over.
We didn't
Take
create
it
a jaywalking law. To where if you walk across the street while Christ,
That's
you
the
can get
case. They
arrested.
gonna pull you over for jaywalking.
We didn't create that law. brother.
Jaywalking.
That's the land of these people
That's a
that we
level
live
6.
in. Right, bring this up real quick.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
The earth is given into the hand
Hand
of the wicked.
Right, he said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
That's
right.
Who is in control of the earth right now? Who's in control of the earth?
Black folk.
You sure?
White man.
How
That's
we in
right.
control- That's right,
That's
brother.
right.
How are we in control of the earth and we getting gunned down in the streets?
Right.
And when we do get gunned down and get shot and killed, guess what? The so-called white man get off scotch-free. That's not owning the earth.
Right.
Right?
Say that.
Read on.
When the black man is
The earth is given into the hand of the
He
wicked.
said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Read.
He covered the faces of
The judges thereof.
Who covers the faces of the judges there? Who went over there into Egypt and shot the nose off the snake? Who made this man white?
right.
Who does those things?
Right.
Right? We didn't do that.
Right. And that's crazy. Damn, I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
God.
Right? We didn't do that.
damn
See that?
Nigga, that's right there. You
That's
thought
right
that was
there.
over. You said you thought that was
Right?
over.
So Right?
That's
We're
right
not
there.
we're not the ones doing it. And that's right. That's the monument right down the street. Right? And we in that land. We don't possess this land. Hey, we don't make the laws of this land. And guess what? The Lord said, hey, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who's the wicked? The one that's in control of it. You can't even shoot off a bomb. You can't even shoot off a bomb, right, in another country without America's permission.
Right.
Right? America governs everything. They police the whole earth. They literally have an embassy on every landmass in the world.
I ain't seen no niggas in Ukraine.
Yeah, brother, that's because we don't govern the earth, brother. We say, and they are over there. They not even allowing them to get on the trains and stuff. Right? But the point is, brother, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, which is the so-called white man.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
The one that governed the earth.
That's right.
Right? Go back to Zechariah.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
Whose possessors slay them
It said, whose possessors slay them, read.
and hold themselves
Not guilty.
Not what?
Not guilty.
Right? What people on the earth, what nationality, you said what?
That's scripture.
Not guilty.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. You see
Right
that?
in there.
You feel it because it's talking about us. We're the ones that's being slaved by our possessors, and then guess what? Our possessors are not being held guilty. What happened in the Sandra Bland case?
Oh, I saw that.
Right? What about all these people, Ahmaud, all these, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, right? Trayvon Martin.
Right.
All these people who are being killed, come on, stay with me, Justice. Stay with me, brother. Stay with me, Justice. Right? A little bit longer. A little bit longer, Justice. Stay with me. Right? You got 12 tribes. You got 12 tribes of beautiful women to choose from.
Right.
You can get something way better than that. Right?
Dog.
Way better. That's a dog.
God.
Right? Compared to our women. Yeah. Right? So the point is, hey, who is that talking about? The elder right here, he said, man, I felt that, man. He said, that's a scripture? He said, I felt that, man. Because guess what? We the ones that's being gunned down and being slaved in the streets, and guess what? They not being held guilty for their actions. Right? Right? That's what he's talking about.
They look at buddy face. So that's the same
Right.
person.
That's
right there.
Emmett Till.
That's Emmett Till.
And guess what I heard about Emmett? Emmett didn't even, he didn't whistle. He had a speech impediment.
Right.
Listen at the white girl.
No. He had a speech impediment. He was, them people down south, man, you
Right.
them
But
them
hey,
some wicked
but
mother-
stay with me though. Stay with me. Stay with me. Hey, he didn't get justice for that.
I know. He was just,
Right? Hey, they got off scotch-free.
Right.
You can boil an entire
No, they
human
did
being.
it fake. They did it like they could leave whistle at a white girl.
No, he didn't.
He did.
whistle.
They
You
lied.
know, like some people talking, they got a speech impediment.
But listen.
It just
Bring
came
the
out like
regardless
that.
that either
Then that
he
white
did or
chick,
not whistle
that
at
white
the
chick
woman.
perceived that
You
as
trying
a
to
whistle.
tell me he deserved to get boiled alive because he whistled? He was 14 years old. So the point is, right, these things are happening to us as a people. Right, give me Haggai 1 and 6. Right, give me Haggai 1 and 6. Give me Leviticus chapter 26, verse 38. Start at verse 36.
Book of Haggai.
Right, listen to this, King.
It's the book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
Ye have sown much
Right?
and breathed and listened.
It said we have sown much. It said they've sown much. Right? Haven't we sown much? We literally built America. America was literally built off of our backs. Right? They still, like I said earlier, they don't even build stuff now. They just use machines to do it.
God.
Back then, guess what they used? They used us. We literally built the first White House. Right? We built all these different civilizations that you see. Right? So it says you sow much but bring in little. Right? You can work 80 hours or 100 hours in a week, right? And barely have a paycheck to be able to support your family. You have to work 2 jobs just to be able to support your family. Right? Read on.
It says, ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Right? It said our people have enough.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you,
Right?
but there is not warm.
Here's the point.
And he that earneth wages, earneth wages to put it in a bag
Withhold.
What that sound like? us getting wages, and it's like, is it we putting it in our pockets that got a hole in it?
Right.
Meaning we supposed to be receiving all this money, but guess what? We only get a small percentage of that. Taxes. It's called slavery. Right? Taxes is literally you paying for an economy and building up a society that's not yours.
Right. Crazy. I wasn't even able to file my taxes this year. That's twice in a row. That's 2020. I ain't even filed this
So
year.
you didn't get your money back. That you owe. Really, in the law, I tell you every day after every day's work, you're supposed to receive your money right there. Hey, they should.
I've worked.
But guess what?
So they owe me this.
But
They
guess
owe
what?
me this.
So check this out, though. That's called slavery, brother. That's slavery, right? We don't have our own economy. So we working for their economy.
Right.
We building up their buildings. Right? We building up, we paving their streets for them. Right? They doing all these different things off of us. And the so-called white man pay his taxes. Guess what? It's for his society. He's gonna do it happen because it's for his society. That's slavery, brother. Right? Finish up.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8.
Bring it out.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
He said we are yet this day in our captivity. A lot of people think they're free. They're not free. All right, we're not free.
We still slaves.
All right, read it again.
Behold, we are yet this day in our
Captivity.
We are yet this day in our captivity. We're yet this day in a land that we was brought here by force and still in this land to this very day.
Right.
Right? Read on.
For thou hast scattered us for a reproach,
For what?
for a
Reproach.
and a curse, and to be subject to
And
payments.
to be so. Hold on, King. Hold on, King.
Oh.
But bear with me, brother. Bear with me, King. Bear with me, brother. Right? Just bear with me. Right? Read on. Or somebody read that.
And
again.
to be subject to payments.
King has a castle, bro. King is from New England.
Brother, you're a king. It's your
I am a
inheritance.
pharaoh.
It's your inheritance to be king.
Well, I'm a pharaoh. Different from me. Pharaoh.
And we are yet this day in captivity, but thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse,
Right?
and to be subject to
And
payments.
to be subject to payments, just like you was talking about. We all subject to payments at the end of the day.
Right.
Right? Read. Or somebody.
This is Exodus 11 and 7 for you, King. Against any of the children of Israel shall not a
The dog move his tongue.
Right? You know who the Israelites are?
I'm familiar with.
Nah. That's what a so-called Christian is. The definition
They are
of a
God's
Christian is
chosen
somebody.
That's right.
The Israelites, they God's chosen people. So who the Israelites today? Whoever God's chosen people are.
Right.
There you go, brother.
Right.
So how you can't be mixing different philosophies and doctrines together.
Right. Well, that's not me though. You call me a king. All I'm saying, I'm a pharaoh.
Brother, the Most High God called us kings. And God's upon us.
How? Where? Show me that.
Give me Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6. No, hold on, real quick. Give me Psalms chapter 82 from the Bible. From the Bible.
The Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
Right, and give me Matthew chapter 10 and verse. Get this.
How can I be an Englishman?
Give me. Hey, I want y'all to pay attention. Pay attention, Justin. All right, I want you to pay attention too. This the answer. You said, where is it in the Bible? Are you saying, where is it at? All right, we get ready to show you. Hold on.
Brother.
Hold on, King. Hold on, King. Right, we about to show you. Right, listen to this.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
I have said, ye are God, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Hey, that's why we God. That's why we kids, because we children of the Most High God. Right? Not everybody, because they not gods.
Right.
Right? It said, and all of you are children of the Most High. The only ones who are gods upon the face of the earth are the ones that's children of the Most High God.
That's right.
Which would be who? The Israelites.
That's right.
And all praises, brother.
God.
Man, I enjoyed your session.
I'm glad, hey, you guys chosen people, brother, but we not done, man. Right? Hold on, Justin. Hold on, brother.
I ain't going nowhere. They finna leave.
All right, hold on. Matter of fact, we're gonna put it to the test, Justin, later. We're gonna put that to the test.
I ain't gonna fire it up.
We're gonna see. Right? But now, while we got that, right, I wanted you to finish that. I wanted you to finish reading.
And this is Exodus 11, verse 7.
Get
But
up.
against any of the children of Israel shall
Not a dog move his tongue.
Right?
against man or beast,
Right?
that ye may know that the Lord do put a difference between
The Egyptians
and
Israel.
So there's a difference between the Israelites and the Egyptians.
That's right.
Right? We don't descend from Egyptians.
Right.
They're called Hamites. That's literally that land. Africa wasn't even called Africa. It was called Ham first. Right?
God.
It was given unto the son of Ham, or it was given unto Ham, which is the son of Noah. So we're not Hamites, right? We come from Shem, right? Which is the Israelite bloodline. Matter of fact, hey, give me Exodus chapter 2, and I believe I'm going to verse 7. I got you right after this, brother.
Speak
I
on
got
lost
you.
tribes.
Hold on, I got you. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna read this, then I'm gonna answer your question, and I got you. Bring this up.
This is Exodus 2 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, a baby wet. And she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrews'
This
children."
is one of the who?
The Hebrews'
It
children.
said this is one of the Hebrews' children. This was Pharaoh's daughter who opened up and seen his baby.
Right.
She's an Egyptian,
Right.
but she looked at the baby and knew that it was a difference between them. She didn't say, "Oh, this is an Egyptian baby." She said, "No, this is one of the Hebrews' children." Why? Because there's a difference between us and them.
Right.
Africans don't even like us. They don't even treat us like we That's a fact. They look down on us, they think they better.
They
If you-
don't. They don't.
And if you look at them,
Right.
if you ask
They don't.
any real African
They
and say,
don't.
"Did people go into slavery?" They're gonna say no,
No, they don't.
because they know we're not the same people.
Because I was just talking to my buddy about that. Like, they
Oh,
Right now, give me,
goddamn
go back to
slaves,
Psalm
go
chapter
back
82
to
and 6. Give me
In
that.
Psalms
Listen
chapter
to Charles
82
the White, man.
in verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Hey, how y'all doing, Pharaohs out there, man? It's your boy G Streets, man. God Streets, great streets. You feel me? We out here.
The New York Israelites in Charlotte were saying how,
So you know about the Israelites,
yeah, I know about
brother. You're an Israelite, brother. You God's chosen people. You're a king and a God upon the earth, brother. You're an Israelite. It's by blood. It ain't about a religion. This ain't a religion. This is literally who you are, brother. You can't become an Israelite. It's in you. It's your bloodline, right? Right? You can't deny who you are. You can't deny that your blood mother isn't your blood mother. You literally came out of her. So whether you like it or not, that's still your mother, right? But what's your question, King?
So they were saying out there, I don't know if they was wrong, but they was right. How yes, the white man has taken over, and they was given the slavery of each job to us because they don't do nothing on the higher ups. But we, like the Mexicans, is our people.
Right.
You know, they
So-called
work with
Hispanics
us
and
through the
Native
building.
Americans.
I had a question out there that I had to face myself. Is it wrong to say that they gave us the idea to give us the strength in each other through the job, or is it right to say that they don't need to be up there to give us the strength? Because we built these walls. Goddamn, we did.
So are you saying that they brought us together? Is that what you're trying to say? Or they put it in our mind that we're stronger than them?
Yeah, that's wrong. That's why I'm saying
I wouldn't say that. We support it. Right? Because of the bloodline and seed line that we came from. Are we descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Real quick, give me Genesis chapter 17. Verse 17. Right, give me Genesis chapter 17.
Genesis. Genesis 17 and verse 17. Then Abraham
This is
fell.
before we went into the This is our forefather Abraham.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, Then Abraham fell upon his head. And Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, now a child is born in
I gotta find out what all
book of Genesis 17 and verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born into him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Right? It's an Ishmael, right? He's the father of the so-called Arabs, or the so-called Israelites, right? You know?
And Yahweh said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
Right? That's our forefather, right? We went from Abraham, right? And then he had a son named Isaac, right? Those are the ones that we descend from, right? Read on.
And I will establish my covenant with him.
He said, the Most High God said he was going to establish his covenant with Isaac. Now, drop that, right? Bring this up.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 17.
Bring it out.
That in blessing I will bless thee,
Right.
and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed,
Right? This is the blessing that Abraham received, you know?
as the stars of the heaven,
Right? His seed was going to be multiplied as the stars of heaven, right? You know?
and as the sand which is upon the seashore.
Right?
And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemy.
Right? So, hey, from the beginning, the Lord said that, hey, we was going to possess the gate of our enemies, meaning what? We was going to have slaves. Right? We was going to be, have other nations under subjection to us, right? Right? This your answer. Yeah, bring this up.
This is Genesis 32 and 28. Yo, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
Matter of fact, start up 2 verses, matter of fact.
Verse 26, and he said, let me go, for the day breaketh, and he said, I will not let thee go.
One more verse, brother.
Verse 25,
Right?
and when he saw that he prevailed,
Yeah, one verse.
this is Genesis chapter 32 and verse 20.
What is that, 4 or 3?
23. No, 22.
God.
And he rose up that night and took 2 wives and 2 women servants and 11 sons and passed over the ford. What did he say?
Sweet on.
And verse 23. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over what he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him.
Right? So, hold on. Hey, Justin. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Right? Hey, the scriptures say all bread is sweet to all people. No, brother. No. No. We got to answer my man's question. Right? This your answer right here.
Genesis 32 and 24.
Bring it out.
Jacob was left alone,
Right.
and there wrestled a man with him.
Right? So Jacob is wrestling with another man. Right? The whole time this is the answer, you know?
He wrestled with a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Right?
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him,
Right? So this angel not prevailing against Jacob, you know?
and prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
Right? He put his thigh bone out of place. Right? Jacob, our forefather, got his hip bone or his thigh bone put out of place. Right? But let's keep reading on.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him.
He's still going, man. This is our forefather. This is literally who you come from. Literally, where all y'all come from. You too. Our forefather was getting it in, man.
Right.
Damn, thigh bone. I don't know if y'all know, but your thigh bone is one of your biggest. First of all, your thigh is the biggest muscle on your body and one of the strongest and biggest bones in your body.
Right.
He got that put out of place and he's still going. Right, you know?
And he said, let me go.
Hey, this man, which is the angel, the angel said, hey, man, let me go, man. You been going all night. Let me go. Right? Hey. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Yeah, I know it's there, brother, but hey. We got it. That's all right, man.
For the day breaketh, and he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me.
He said, I'm not letting you go unless you bless me, man.
Right.
And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob.
Right?
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
He said, your name not Jacob no more, man.
But Israel.
But what?
But Israel.
But Israel. What it mean?
For as a prince hast thou power with Yahweh.
He said, for as a prince, hey, we got power with Yahweh, man. So we knew we were strong even before we went into Egypt.
That's right.
right? From our forefathers, man. Because of the seed line that we come from, right? From Abraham, Isaac, Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel, man. We didn't have to go into slavery to realize that we were strong, man.
Right.
Right? Because if you read that real quick, give me Exodus 1 and 9. Even Pharaoh knew that we was stronger than them. That's why they afflicted us with different and that's why he set over us taskmasters. Right? He said it himself, right? Bring this up.
Exodus 1 and verse 9.
Look it up.
He said to his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Hey, this is what Pharaoh said. Pharaoh said, man, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Right.
Right? They bigger than us, they faster than us, they stronger than us, they smarter than us, man. Right, read on.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also into our enemies.
So they like, look, we got to deal wisely with them, right? We can't, because if we go into war and they come up against us, hey, we gonna lose.
Right.
It is flat out. It is what it is.
God.
He said, let us deal wisely with them. So how did they deal wisely with us? Read.
And fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters.
You know what a taskmaster is? Nah, a taskmaster, you know how in slavery, you have the so-called white man, and he was on a horse with the whip, making sure, walking through the cotton fields, making sure that we was working.
Right.
That's what a taskmaster is.
Right.
Right, read on.
To afflict them with their burdens.
He said to afflict them with their burdens, read.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
We the ones that built those pyramids.
Right.
Everybody trying to figure out who built the pyramids. We did. Literally. Read.
For treasure cities for Python, and Ramses.
And Ramses, which is in the land of Goshen in Egypt.
Right.
Right? We literally built those different monuments, all these different things that you know about. Even the hieroglyphics that's on these different walls and temples show you one people, the Egyptians, and then you got people with beards on their face being afflicted. What's your nationality, brother? What did God call you? Man. What's your nationality? What did God give you for a nationality? Because even when
I don't know my nationality.
Brother, that's what we teaching you, brother. You just said we the Israelites.
I know.
So that's your nationality, brother.
Right.
I know that.
So why you say man? The Most High even gave man a name. With the first man that was on the earth, he called him Adam. That's Genesis chapter 5 and verse 1 on down. Said and he met him. Matter of fact, give me Genesis 1 and 5. I mean 5 and 1. Whoever got it first. Genesis 1 and 5.
It's the book of Genesis.
1 and verse 5.
Come on,
5
man.
and 1.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse
1 minute,
Brothers
brother.
don't want the answer, man. Brothers want to stay in darkness, man. Brothers got to get the answer, man.
This is the book of the generations of Adam.
Right?
In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of Yahweh,
It didn't say he called them man. It said created man. Read.
made he him, male and female. Created he them,
What he called them?
and he blessed them, and called their name
What?
Adam.
Straight like that, man. Meaning from the dirt. Or from the ground. So the Most High didn't call nobody just man. That's your nationality, just man. And then when you go through the genealogies, right, you got Abraham. I mean, so like you got Adam. From Adam, you got Seth, right? Because Abel got killed, right, by Cain. Cain went off and built his own city. Then you had Seth have kids from Seth, right? You got Arphaxad, you got Noah, all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes, man. Right?
That's right.
Straight like that. So, brother, the whole reason we got you up here, and you, elder, is to tell our people that we the greatest people upon the face of the earth.
That's right.
The greatest people upon the face of the earth got a nationality, man. Right? That nationality is the Israelites, man. From one of the 12 tribes.
Right.
Right? But what's that? Would your father be a so-called black man in America? So-called? Would they label him an African American? Would they label your father an African American?
Yeah.
Right? So y'all would be Israelites from the tribe of Judah.
God.
That's your God-given nationality. Right? That's your God-given nationality. That's what the Most High God called you. Man.
Right.
The Most High God didn't call. The Most High God never called anybody Negro
That's right.
or African American.
Right.
Nigga. He never called nobody these different things.
See?
Right? Those were all terms that was placed upon us by our oppressors.
Right.
Right? to try to put us in the bond. Right? Even in the scriptures we brought out earlier in Deuteronomy 32 and 26 that, hey, we was going to be scattered into corners and the Most High will make the name of us to cease from among men. Right?
Yeah.
So, you got any questions?
Yeah,
What's up?
I want to ask you about angels.
What about
St. Peter and what's his name was on the earth and everything that was hooked up in prison. The Bible said an angel came and released them.
Acts chapter 12 and verse 5.
Have y'all seen any angels?
Acts chapter 12 and verse, start at verse 5.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 12 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
Check it out. Peter, therefore, was kept in prison.
Right?
But prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto Yahweh for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping.
Right?
Between two soldiers bound with two chains. And the keepers before the door kept the prison.
Right?
And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined into the prison. And he smote Peter on the side.
Hey, meaning, hey, he woke him up like, hey,
Yeah,
get up.
right.
Get up. You know?
And raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hand.
You see that? So, hey, that's the account that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where Peter was in prison and the angels came unto him to release him from prison. Right? So you said, have we seen any angel before? Right? I've never seen.
Because I feel that the angels follow the real Israelites. They're teaching the right doctrine.
That's
Because you know, when they gave in the Moses, when the Messiah gave the Great Commission, said go into all the world, they were just going from door to door, and they were preaching. They
Say
went
what?
When he gave the Great Commission, they were going from door to door, and they were preaching.
So what's your
So
question?
I mean, you know, it's good to be healed, you know, but they scattered and they went everywhere preaching the word.
That's right. We just came back.
And you know,
from
those
Portugal.
angels are for they're here to, you know, like you just read about Peter. You can get they take you down there and handcuff and everything. The angels be there. Now that's what I feel that the angels follow the real Israelites.
They do. They follow the children of the Most High God.
Have
They
y'all
don't-
seen the angel?
Bring this up.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter
Nobody seen no
34,
angel?
and verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them
It said the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that what?
that fear him.
That what?
That fear him.
Meaning the ones that keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? The angels are not for the so-called white men.
I know.
For the so-called white ones. Right? These people don't have angels following them around. If it is, right? So yeah, brother, you're right. Have I ever seen a physical angel with my own eyes? No. Right? Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 1. Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 1. Have we seen chariots? Have we seen chariots? The things that the angels drive? Right? The things that the angels fly around in?
Con.
We have.
Con.
Brother up here got a testimony.
That's right.
Yeah, got a testimony of us seeing accounts of the chariots.
That's right.
But as far as this, right to the side.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
In the year that Uzziah died, in the year that King Uzziah died, also the Lord, I saw also the Lord sitting upon the throne,
Right?
high and lifted up,
Right?
and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphim.
Right? It said the seraphim. That's a group of angels. Right? Those are a type of angels, the seraphim. Right? We don't.
Each one had 6 wings.
Right? They got 6 wings. So a lot of times angels is not what people think.
Right.
Right? A lot of times these angels, they got people depiction of what an angel is might be a little bitty baby with rosy cheeks, white baby with rosy cheeks. They got some little wings. Yeah, they got the little halo around their head. That's madness. Right. Right? That's not what the Lord created. The Lord didn't create little bitty white babies with rosy cheeks and a halo around them and some wings.
Right.
These angels got 6 wings, man. These are seraphims.
That's right.
Right? The same seraphims you can read about in the book of Revelations, right? Read on.
With twain he covered his face.
Right? So they got wings that cover their face, read on.
With twain he covered his feet. And with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts.
Right?
The whole earth is full of his glory.
Straight like that, man. So that's the type of angel, the seraphims. right? You got seraphims, you got cherubims, right? You got different types of angels.
Right.
Right? These angels right here, their entire existence is to bow down before the Most High God and say, holy, holy, holy. All day. It's all they do. It's worship the Most High God. You got angels that are camped around about, the ones that fear the Most High God, right? So-called guardian angels, right? You got death angels, right? You got all types of different angels, right? Bring this up.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 20.
Bring it out.
Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength.
That what?
That excel in strength. That do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word.
Right? Hey, brother, come back, come back. Let me give you this flyer. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother.
Want me to get it to him?
You can't smoke that, brother.
That's a power habit. You know, you gotta have the word in you to keep it going holy. You know?
Right. So
That's a power habit that you looking at.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
Right? You see that? So you could be entertaining an angel and not even know it. Right. I don't mean everybody you walk past it's an angel.
Right.
You know, hey, they can take me. What's going on, King? You know what your nationality is? Black. That's a color, brother. We can't go to the land of black. We can't speak the language black, King.
Right.
We gotta learn these different things, King. Come talk to me for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, brother. Take these past saying black. Right? But do that answer your question, Elder?
Yeah, question as well.
Right, what's your question, King?
So Titus the Greek.
No. Right? He was a Greek by custom. Real quick, somebody give me the card.
He was Greek by custom. Like the Hellenistic Jews.
That's right. Give me First Maccabees. Right? Give me First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 47. It's right at 42.
It's the book of First Maccabees.
Right, somebody else give me First Maccabees, or give me second Maccabees 6 and 6.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 42.
Bring it out.
And everyone, Salakia.
Start at 40.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 40. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning.
Right, we know.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom.
Right, this was the Greek. He was the one that was over the Greeks during this time. Right, we know.
That all should be of one people, and everyone should leave his love.
Right, it said that all should be of one people. What was the captivity the Israelites was in before the time of Jesus? Right, before the time of Christ, before the Roman captivity? What captivity was it?
Babylonian.
Before that one. So, I mean, before the Roman captivity, you had the Greek captivity.
Right.
The Greek captivity.
Right.
You had the Egyptian captivity. Right. Then from after the Egyptian, you had the Assyrian captivity. You had the Assyrian captivity, which was 722 BC. Right. Then after the Assyrians, you had the Babylonian captivity. Right, in 586 BC. Right, then after that, after the Babylonian captivity, you had the Persian captivity, Persian and Mede captivity. After in 339, after 339, in the Persian captivity, that's when you had the Greek captivity. Then you had the Roman captivity. Right, but the reason I asked you that is because it's important to know what captivity was right before the Roman captivity. That's why even in Galatians 3 and 28, it say neither Jew nor Greek. I come in and say neither Jew or another different set of people, right? Or another different nationality of people. Because the Greek captivity was literally right before the Roman captivity, right? But let's read it on that. Read that verse again, brother.
I got another question too.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
It said all one people.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote unto his whole kingdom, that all should be one people.
So everybody had to call themselves Greeks, right? Even if you called yourself something else other than the Greek, they would put you to death. That's what we're going to read in a minute, right?
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote unto the whole kingdom, that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws.
Right, so you had to leave your laws, your heritage, right? Titus, he had a grandmother and a mother, right, his father, right, was looked at or considered as a Greek because he still followed those customs. Just like we have parents or siblings or brothers who still follow the customs and still call themselves American.
Right.
Because it's by citizenship.
Right.
But they're not actually an American, right? They're actually Israelites, right? Now drop that. Give me this.
This is 2 Maccabees.
Start in verse 4.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
For the temple was filled with riot and revealing by the Gentiles,
Right.
who dallied with the harlot
And
and bad to do with women within the circuit of the holy places.
right, read on.
And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
Right.
The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth.
Right.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbaths,
Right. It said neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath. Read on.
Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
To be a what?
To be a Jew.
So it was unlawful to be a Jew. To call yourself a Jew. So like that's like being modernized and whitewashed in this captivity. Right? We got a lot of people that call themselves African American. Why? Because for so long, exactly. For so long, right? And this wasn't just 20 years. You have years and years and years of people trying to be under the customs and under the laws that they're a Greek. Right? And for fear, out of fear, because if you could profess yourself to be a Greek, or to be a Jew, rather, you got put to death. So, hey, you gonna teach a kid, right? If you're not strong enough, I'll put it like that, you'll teach a kid, hey, look, don't call yourself a Jew. You're Israelite. So like, see, hey, it's stuck in me, right? But hey, you're a Greek. Call yourself a Greek. So now that kid growing up, he always calling himself a Greek. He have a kid. He don't even tell him he an Israelite. He just, hey, you a Greek.
Yeah. So it's like they citizen shit. It's like with Paul.
He called himself a Roman, but he was really an Israelite from the tribe
that
of
was
Benjamin.
just his citizen shit. The
Exactly.
People think he was actually a Greek.
Exactly.
He was a white man, but you could tell that he was from tribe that he said from
He was from Benjamin, right?
Yeah,
That's Romans. Give me Romans 11:1. That's right, brother. Right, and this brother get ready to continue to edify you with any questions that you got right after this precept.
Romans 11 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
And it reads, I say then, have Yahweh cast away his people?
Right, did the Most High God cast away his people? Right, are the Israelites no longer upon the face of the earth? Right, just because we govern by all these different man-made nationalities and terms, right? Did God cast away his people? Read on.
God forbid.
What the Lord say?
God forbid.
Read.
For I also am an Israelite.
Hey, Paul said, I am also an Israelite. Read on.
Of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Of the tribe of Benjamin, just like you said. Right, so I'm going to leave off with this one, that a brother going to continue to answer anything. I'm about to get another precept. This brother going to continue to edify you. Give me the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3. Right, give me Habakkuk chapter 3, and I'm on verse 11.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
And it reads, the sun and moon, the sun and moon stood still in their habitation.
Right.
At the light of thy arrows they went.
Right.
And at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land in indignation.
And what?
In indignation.
Read.
Thou didst stretch the heathen.
Thou didst stretch who?
The heathen.
Read.
In anger. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people.
For who?
Of
Thy people.
Read.
Even for the salvation with thine anointed.
Right, straight like that. And with that, Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala. Kwame Yashala.
Right, the next mighty, powerful speaker is going to edify you.
Alright, so what was your other question, Ken?
Okay. So what do y'all think about white people and salvation?
What do we think about white people and salvation?
White people have salvation.
Let me get Matthew 15 and 24 real quick. Right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
But he answered and said,
Psalms 14:7.
red letter, I am not sent, but into the lost sheep of the
house of Israel.
Right? Read that one more time. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but into the lost sheep of
the house of Israel.
Right? So therefore,
the Lord's not sent but unto these 12 tribes right here that's on this chart.
So
right
what
here.
did he? What about when he went to the Roman centurion?
You said when he went to the Roman centurion?
Yeah, when he healed the Roman centurion, and when he healed the Samaritan woman.
Samaritan woman? Okay. So, let's go into it. Look at the. Stop. Read that one real quick. Let me get Malachi 36. Get this one.
Psalms 14 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad.
Right, so salvation is only coming to Israel. I'm going to leave with these two precepts and brother can go deeper into it. Go ahead and get that Malachi.
So what about the strangers that come into the outer gates of the temple?
Hey,
Okay, we're going to dive into it.
what about the book of Revelation say he redeemed them from all nations were redeemed by his blood? I don't want to mix it up, but I heard a dude on the internet talking about the Israelites, talking about they were teaching false doctrine.
Let me get Deuteronomy.
They said something about all nations were redeemed by his blood.
Let me get Deuteronomy 4:27. That's not talking about all 18 different nations that were created from the foundation of the earth. That's talking about the Israelites that's scattered throughout the all different nations.
They were supposed to go out and go preach.
Deuteronomy,
The Israelites was charged with that.
Deuteronomy 4 and verse 27.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall scatter thee, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Right?
Whether the Lord shall lead you.
Right, go ahead.
And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone.
Right, pretty much going into serving the white man's customs, these other nations' customs, to the point where we sat there and assimilated. So that's what the Lord's talking about in Revelations that you're referring to, calling us out of the other nations. It's because we've been scattered throughout the all four corners of the earth. Right, so let me get Romans 9, start verse number 1. Yeah, bring out that Malachi 36. And I brought out that Psalm 14 and 7 for a reason as well. Because it said chiefly that salvation is unto the Israelites, only to the Israelites. Read that Malachi 36.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
For I am the Lord.
Right.
I change not.
I change.
I
change not.
I waver.
I change not.
Right, go ahead.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Right, so the Lord's not wavering, right, in what he's saying. He's not contradicting himself. Right. So if he says it in the Old Testament and
Get
in the
out.
New Testament, that's the thing that is. So therefore, we have to read with this knowledge and understanding. Let me get Isaiah 28 and 10. We have to.
Can you give me
What about the woman at the well, the
6:13?
Samaritan woman?
Yeah, we can get it in a second. Right.
The woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, he said he would give them living water. Because they didn't have no dealing with the Jews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
We're going to
Yeah.
dive into it through spirit.
Isaiah 28 and
She
verse
said
10.
that herself.
For
You ain't no dealings with
precept
the
must
Jews.
be
Hey,
upon
something's up,
precept.
All right, read that one more time from the top.
For precept must be upon precept.
Right, so we can't sit there and read from the top of the page all the way down to the bottom and expect to have a perfect understanding of everything that's going on.
Right.
You gotta exactly. You gotta sit there and dive to and fro. You got books, different books that's in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, and even in the Apocrypha, but they were during the same time period. Right, so you got to sit there and be able to, okay, look at the history. This took place in 339 BC. What other things took place in 339 BC? Right, dive into it. So you know what I'm saying? You got to sit there and
Before
dive
y'all
into
go to
this thing.
Galatians 6:13, I want to ask y'all a question. Are any of y'all under a curse?
Are any of us under a curse?
Do y'all keep the law, the whole law?
We try our best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All 613 of them.
So y'all putting yourselves under a curse.
You said what now?
Y'all putting yourselves under a curse.
How so?
It says that every person that doesn't keep the law is a curse over them. And it says you're supposed to keep one title and one jot.
One tittle, one jot.
Yeah, you're reading. And I think that was
11.
I think it was even Galatians and 2 Peter. It's like anybody that goes to the Torah serving themselves from the Messiah, they no longer under grace.
Okay, go ahead. This is the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 49.
Bring it out.
But this people who knoweth not the law are cursed.
Right?
Right. So if y'all don't keep the law, y'all cursed, right? If y'all don't keep those titles, those jots and those titles and all of that, y'all cursed, right?
No, not necessarily.
But it says
But what is that? It says
This is St. John chapter 7.
thou is cursed if you don't keep the law. You know what I mean?
This is St. John
not
chapter
sure.
7 and 49.
Look it out.
But this people who knoweth not the law are cursed. That's right. It's talking about the people that do not know the law.
So do y'all have a hard time keeping the law?
Because
Man, you can still keep the
Do y'all have a
law.
hard time keeping the law?
You ain't got no hard time.
So y'all know that the
I'ma let the words of the Lord
fringes
speak.
was for the wicked people too.
This is the book
They
of,
didn't
this is the
they
book
didn't
of
know the
Matthew,
law.
chapter 5 and verse 17.
Bring it up.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right,
But,
What about when the Messiah
but
said
whosoever
Hold
shall
on,
do
brother. I'll let
and
you
teach
answer questions
them,
too.
the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Okay,
So when he said, what
Hold on.
about when Messiah said you're supposed to keep those too? You're supposed to obey Yah, and then you're supposed to love your neighbor. It says hang on the prophets, right?
brother. Okay, we just read in Malachi chapter 3 and verse number 6.
No, but I'm just saying that's what it said.
Does the Lord change? Does the Lord contradict himself? So is he going to sit there and say in 1 second that we don't got to sit there, we're cursing ourselves by keeping the commandments and keeping the Torah, but in the next sit
But
there
I'm
and
talking
say
about
that he's
all
not
those
destroying
other
the law, but comes to
613
fulfill it.
laws that y'all talking about, and y'all not even in the land of Israel to keep those.
Galatians.
How can you keep a law if you're supposed to be in the land of Israel? You know what I
Hold on,
mean?
real quick, brother, because
Yeah.
you're jumping all over the
ain't in
place.
the
First,
land.
I
Ah,
wanna
that's
deal
me,
with-
that's me, man.
You good. First, I want to deal with the fact of being accursed, right? Read 3 and 18. You said 3 and 18?
Galatians 6:13.
6:13? Read up.
6:13. It's the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
For neither they themselves who are circumcised keep the law, but desire to have you circumcised.
You know what this is talking about?
I was talking about the Greeks. It was telling them that they want them to be not even the Greeks, just the believers that was in the Messiah.
It's talking about the Israelites.
It was like they
that
want
was-
you to be
hold on.
circumcised and keep the Torah.
It's talking about the Galatians, which was Israelites, who was telling them, look, you got to do this, this, and this, and this, right? For people who was just realizing and just figuring out that they was Israelites, telling them, look, you got to do all these different things, but they wasn't even keeping the law themselves. They was being hypocrites. Now, first, I want to deal with, go to Galatians chapter 2 and verse 16.
This is Galatians 2 and 16.
Bring it
We
out.
talked about the curse. Do we think we under the curse of the law if we got to keep the entire thing? That's going into curses every man hanging from the tree, right? If he keep not this law. That is right. But that's if we don't use Yahushua. That's if we don't use Christ. Then you would be cursed because you making Christ to none effect when you try to do it without Christ. We're not denying Christ, right? But this is going to explain it. Bring this up.
In verse 16, chapter 2, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law.
So we understand that we're not justified by the works of the law. We know that we can't just be, no man has ever been justified by the works of the law. Right? It even tell you that in Galatians 3 and 6 with Abraham. He was by faith, right? Read on.
But by the faith of Jesus Christ.
Right? But by the faith, read on.
Even we have believed in Jesus Christ that we might be justified by the faith of Christ and not by the works of the law, for by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
So we understand that you can't be justified solely based off of the works of the law.
That's right.
But we're not basing it solely off of the works of the law.
Right.
Let's keep reading on. Let's finish it. Because a lot of times people read that and they don't read nothing else. But let's keep reading on. Read.
But if while we seek to be justified by Christ.
So if you only want to be justified by Christ, if you meaning I don't gotta keep the law, but I got faith in Christ, so I'm good. But I can still go out here, smoke weed, I can still go out here and kill people and rape people. I don't gotta keep none of the laws because I'm justified by Christ. That's all. That's why he said, but if you seek to be justified by Christ only, read.
We ourselves also are found sinners.
Or what?
Are found
Sinners.
You're still in the same boat. Because you can't abuse Yahushua. You can't abuse the law. They one and the same, they come together. Just like it tell you in the book of James.
Yep.
Right? They go hand in hand. Faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So just because brothers got fringes on and brothers is keeping the Sabbath day, that don't mean that we under that we trying to put ourselves under the curse of the law because we believe in Christ. Right? We believe that if we mess up, because we know we can't go to Jerusalem. Give me Judges 5 and 11. Give me Judges 5 and 11.
The book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
And it reads, they that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water.
Right, what are those places of drawing water? You know what that's going into? That's going into slavery, bondage, captivity, right? That's why I said the noises of the archers and the drawings of water, because that's what you would make the servants or the slaves do. You would make them go all the way to the well to draw the water. So in the place, are we in captivity right now?
Yes.
In the places of drawing waters and the arches of arrows, read.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
So that's saying rehearse, meaning we understand we can't go to Jerusalem 3 times a year to keep the feast days, but we still have to rehearse the righteous acts as best as we can. So that's not us saying, oh, we're bound by the law. We know we're not bound by the law because we got Christ. We use them every day. We don't keep the command. We don't keep all 613 commandments. We can't keep all 613 commandments, right? We don't have a land Sabbath. We don't have our own crops. We don't have our own animals and to be able to not make sure that we're not putting muzzles over them. We don't have those different things. But the ones that we can keep to the best of our ability, we keep. Like what? Not eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Making sure we got beards on our face. Making sure we got fringes on. Making sure that we keep the Sabbath day. We keep those things. Making sure we loving our brother with all our heart. Right? Now you brought up the 2 greatest, so-called greatest commandments. Right? If you love your brother, are you going to commit adultery against him? No. Right? If you love your sister, are you gonna beat her? Right? So that's you doing what? You performing the commandments by showing. Real quick, give me John 6. Give me John 14:15. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 17. It's a reason why he said that. He didn't say that meaning you don't got to keep the commandments. Just do these 2 things. Nah, he said that because those 2 things involve keeping the commandments. Because what's the only way you can love the Father?
Yeah, keeping His commandments. Keeping the 10 commandments. I mean,
keeping all the commandments to the best of your ability.
But the Messiah
So it's
said,
not
be ye
just 2 commandments.
perfect, be ye perfect as your heavenly Father is
Exactly. He
perfect.
wouldn't tell you to be perfect if you couldn't.
Right.
This is St. John chapter 14 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's plain upon table, right?
Right.
So who got Wisdom of Solomon?
That's what that whole thing was built on. They wasn't keeping the commandments. That's why they end up getting cursed. They end up going to
Real quick, because you asked like 4 different questions. So
I know, I hear what you're saying.
Things, right? Listen to
Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17.
Bring it out.
For the very true beginning of her is the desire of this discipline. And the care of
wisdom.
discipline is love.
Right? It's love and read.
And love is the keeping of her laws.
So in order for you to love your brother, you got to keep the laws.
That's right.
In order for you to love the Most High, you got to keep the laws too. That's why he said on these 2 are they hanged. Meaning, because if you loving the Father and you loving your neighbor as yourself, guess what? You performing the law.
Right.
That don't mean, oh, all I got to do is love my brother and love the Most High so I can go smoke weed and commit adultery. Nah, that's not you loving the Most High.
Yeah.
Right? Now give me John chapter 4 and verse 10. Because y'all was kind of talking about the Samaritan woman in agreement. Right? Let's break it down through the Spirit.
St. John 4 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
Yahweh answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, that like if thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water.
Right now, I'm gonna stop right there. Where's Samaria?
It ain't here.
It's in Israel, right? It's northern Israel, right? You have a northern
That was
Israel,
the poor area.
and then you got a southern Israel, right? The southern Israelites was majority where the Jews were. Northern Israel was where because it's more than just the Jews. You got 12 tribes, right?
Yeah.
So what happened to northern Israel, which is Samaria, in 722 BC? Do you know? No, that's when the Assyrians invaded and took them captive. But before that even happened, right, it was a split between the northern and the southern kingdom. It was a split between the Jews and the Israelites, the northern and the southern kingdom.
Didn't that stem from when David was king and all of that.
Well, it was
that
after.
What happened? That was
Nah,
after
it
that?
happened. It happened after David and Solomon.
Yeah.
It happened around 900 BC. Right? Because they was in disagreements. Right? You had King Solomon's son. Right? You had Rehoboam and Jeroboam going against each other.
Yeah.
And they killed one of the Jews when he was going to collect taxes. And then that started an all-out war for ages and ages and ages that's still going on to this very day. So now that we know that Samaria is in Israel, and this is a woman of Samaria, right? We didn't even finish it, but she got to be an Israelite. But it's going to tell you that. Let's keep reading on.
The woman said it to him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water?
Read.
Art thou greater than our father Jacob?
She said, art thou greater than our father?
Yeah, you got me there.
Jacob. Jacob was the father of who? Who was Jacob the father of?
The Israelites.
That's right. So what does she have to be? Israelite. Now,
Roman centurion.
now let's go to. Real
And
quick,
that,
hold on. I got you, bro.
Who was that? The other lady that was
Give me Acts chapter 10 and verse 1. Let's deal with Cornelius.
Yahushua was telling her, don't feed the dogs crumbs under the table.
We got all one question at a time, brother. One question at a time, brother. If you see, we answering all of them in the order.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
The book of Acts 10 and verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesar called Cornelius,
right?
A centurion of the band called the Italian band,
right?
A devout man and one that a devout man and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always.
Now drop to verse 22.
Verse 22. And it reads, and they said Cornelius, the centurion, a just man,
and
one that feareth God.
They said that one that feareth God.
Yeah.
Right, read on.
And of good report among all the nation of the Jews.
It said that he had a good report of all the nation of the Jews. Now go back up and go to verse 2 again.
Verse 2 of Acts chapter 10, a devout man.
A devout man.
And one that feared God. With all his house.
Right.
Which gave much alms to the people. And prayed to God always.
And he did what?
And prayed to God always.
Prayed to God always. Read on.
He saw in a vision evidently about the 9th hour of the day. An angel of God coming to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, what is it, Lord? And he said unto him, thy prayers and thy alms are come up.
It said thy prayers and thy alms have come up.
Right.
Now, why is that important? You know,
Praying to the Father.
He was praying to the Father. You know why is it important? Right? Why?
Obviously, he knew about the Israelites and knew who the true God was. So.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's see why it's that. Well, let's see why his prayers coming before the Most High is important. Bring this up.
You said
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 8. And when he had... Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 8, read out, and it reads, and when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down.
You know what's going on right now? Right, exactly. That's right. They in the third heaven right now. You got the Most High God sitting on his throne, and you got Christ coming. Exactly. Right. But let's read on.
The 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors.
Does anybody know what those
yeah, that's the prayers.
Read.
Which are the prayers of the saints.
Of the who?
Of the saints.
Who are saints according to the Bible. So Cornelius was a what?
That's right.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have got his prayer answered. The angel wouldn't have came unto him. Right? Bring us up.
Hebrews 1 and 13.
Bring it out.
Verse 12. And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed.
So, let me see that. Start at 13. Slide.
Verse 13, of Hebrews. But to which of the angels said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool.
Right, which was told unto Christ, read.
And they not all ministering spirits.
Right, said, are they not all ministering spirits, talking about the angels, read.
Sent forth to minister for them who shall be hearers of salvation.
So the angels are sent forth unto those that are heirs of salvation. Who are the heirs of salvation? Even in the book of Galatians chapter 3 and 28 and 29, they tell you who they are.
Right.
And chapter 4.
Right.
Right, it tell you who the heir is from the beginning, which is the seed of what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the heir, right, of salvation.
Right.
All right. So this brother gonna continue on with the edification of the word.
All praise to the King. Right. Do you have any other questions to the Spirit?
Oh yeah. So as far as the Israelites, this is one thing I've been seeing a lot. I personally don't agree with it. Do y'all think that Mexicans are truly the Israelites?
You think that?
Yes, Mexican people, Hispanics. Because a lot of people say that they come from what is that? Ephraim. They come from Ephraim. That's what they say. But they don't look like us at all. And even some Mexican and Hispanic people don't even claim to be from us. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, we do believe that Mexicans are of the Israelites.
Yeah,
Right? We do believe that the Hispanics are of the Israelites. So with the Native Americans as well. Right.
So I don't know if this makes sense or not. I'm not smart and all that.
But real quick, let me make a point, because you got to understand,
you are, brother.
when you go through the curses in Deuteronomy 28, it
Right.
said that it would help us identify who we are according to the Bible, right? Who the Israelites are today, right? All the things, all those curses.
But that was only Negro people though.
What makes you say that?
That was only Negro people.
You feel as if the Negro people are the only people that went into slavery?
I mean, that was following Bible prophecy.
All right, let's get a couple of precepts.
That was the only one that followed Bible prophecy. And even still today, you can still identify the people that's still under the curses too. So
Right.
I say it's just the Negro people, not no Hispanics, because they don't even look like us.
They may not look like
They don't.
exactly like us according to our
No, no.
complexion, but let's read this.
Hosea 7 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people.
Right, what happened?
He have mixed himself among the people.
Okay, read on.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Nah, he's the same complexion of color, brother.
Is that what that's really talking about?
If you sit there and you look at a pancake, right? You sit there and got one side cooking, but the other side ain't been turned yet. Isn't it of a lighter complexion?
So if they come from us, why do they hate Negro people so much? If they
That's
come
the
from
curses, bro.
Not all of them is like that, bro.
It's as simple as that.
But y'all giving y'all.
What's the fucking Deuteronomy?
Y'all giving y'all an inheritance over the heathens. So that's just saying if a Caucasian man come over here and he say, okay, I'm from Ephraim, and he white, you know what I mean? And he say, I'm from Ephraim, are you giving your heritage over to a heathen?
That's what the Spirit bear with us. Look at Romans 8.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Can I say something?
I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
Can I say something?
I ain't trying to figure out
No,
nothing like
if
that.
an Edomite comes up, which is the biblical nationality of the so-called white man, he sits there and comes up and says that he's of the tribe of Ephraim, whatever the case may be, and you gotta take that up with the Lord at the end of the day. We're out here just delivering the message.
So-
now we sit there and say, "What's your father?" Because that's how the genealogy
Are y'all
goes.
from One West or what?
No.
What part of what camp y'all from?
Watchman first.
Washington Prison.
Okay.
So y'all know about the chart, right? Y'all know about the chart when they said that whole thing was made up. Y'all know about Ariel?
Brother, we're trying to deal with one point at a time. You kind of jump into a
I'm sorry, but y'all know about Ariel, right?
Okay.
When he was talking about the chart, and that whole thing was made up. And it was like they made that chart up so they can get people in. So they can get like the Dominican and all them type of people.
Okay, but it's a simple question, right?
Yeah, but
do they not go through the same things that we're going through right now?
Not
Have
really.
they not gone? Have they not been slaved by the conquistadors and the Spaniards?
Yeah,
that
they
came
have,
over and conquered the land?
yeah.
Let me get.
I mean, the
Second
Europeans
chapter
was
14,
killing their own
verse
people though, right? The Europeans was killing their own people.
Hey, real quick. You know who Blake Griffin is?
Yeah.
Don't Blake Griffin look white?
Yeah, he look like.
But he's not. He's
What
a
is
Haitian.
He's what?
He's a Haitian.
Oh, that's
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not about the color.
Right.
Okay. So, but they still don't look like this at all.
It just said that we just read it in Hosea that they mixed themselves.
No, bro, y'all can look at the whole head structure. If y'all want to go deep into that, the whole head structure, the lips and all of that. If you get a Hispanic man and look at me, y'all can see it's a clear difference. I come from a whole different nationality.
But did they not go through these things right here?
This is a Hispanic.
Now, I understand if y'all talking about those Negro Hispanic people.
What's the
people that's...
Brother, we not talking.
Where is there a differentiation?
No, it's black people that's scattered in Mexico.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're not talking about the people that's over there in the middle, in Europe.
Okay. But
We're
anyway,
talking about the people that came out of the land of Israel, that walked out of Egypt, right, in the times of Exodus alongside with us, man. We're not talking about the Europeans like the Persians and the damn Spaniards. We're not talking about that.
Okay, so that's my
Is
real
that the
question
discrepancy
was,
right there?
What about the whole list and all of that? What about that? What y'all think about that? Because I know y'all be looking around on social media and all that, but they came out and they said the whole thing was fake.
Look, you gotta understand.
No, I'm just. Do y'all know about that though?
Not necessarily. I may have heard about it, but look, hear me out on this.
If y'all follow Watchmen for Israel, y'all should know about that. Cause they be having the same thing out too.
So look, I know what you're talking about, brother.
When one West and all of them, they broke up together.
Let me answer your question. First of all, we know that this chart is real. First of all, we know that the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans and Israelites based off the curses. Real quick, give me.
But the dude that made it said it was a lie.
Real quick.
The dude that actually made the chart.
Are you gonna allow me? Are you gonna allow me to answer, brother?
I made it up.
Are you gonna allow me to answer, brother? Or
Nah, yeah, go ahead.
So can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You about to get the
Give me Genesis chapter 49. Give me Genesis chapter 49 and verse. I believe I'm on 13. Give me, or it's like I don't want 13. Go to 9, I believe.
Genesis 49 and
Right.
verse
Give me
9.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 14.
Judah is a Genesis 49 and 14. Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens.
Right? It said Issachar is a strong ass. You know the ass is, right? Yeah. A donkey crouching between two burdens. Meaning what? Hey, they're gonna always work hard. They're gonna be people that work hard. Right? If you see the so-called Hispanics, don't they go hard, man. Let me finish my point, then I got you. Right? They'll build construction. Hey, they'll work for minimum wage, more than minimum wage. They will work hard. Why? Because they're ass crouching between two burdens. Now I'm not done though. Right? Give me I want Ezekiel chapter 37 and start at verse 16.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16.
Question about the chart. Regardless of who damn came out, I don't give a damn if Barack Obama or damn whoever.
So was
I don't care if an
Samson,
angel came down and
Samson
said,
Mexican?
hold on, brother. You asking so many questions, we still dealing with the chart. Hold on.
But was he a Mexican?
Brother, hold on, brother. No, Samson was not a Mexican. Right? Bring this up.
Moreover, the Son of Man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah.
Right now, that word stick in the Hebrew is going to a plank. Right? Meaning a plank, a board. Right? It said, now read that again, Baba Shah.
Moreover, the Son of Man, take thee one stick
Meaning a plank, a board, read.
and write upon it for Judah.
For Judah.
And for the children of Israel.
Meaning what? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? You got Judah, the southern kingdom, representing the southern kingdom. You got Israel representing the northern kingdom. Read.
His companions. Then take the other stick and write upon it for Joseph.
The house of Joseph, which is who? Ephraim and Manasseh.
Right.
Right, you know?
And the stick of Ephraim. And for all the house of Israel, his companions.
Right.
And join them one to another.
And do what?
Join them
One to another.
Meaning these sticks are one now. Meaning what? A chart. Just because it's in paper form don't mean nothing, brother. Right? You can't say that the chart is made up when even in the scriptures it tell you to go out there and make one. Right? But let's keep reading on. This is going to tell you that.
And join them one to another and to one stick. And they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou marvelous, what thou meanest by these?
Right? Meaning, just like you just came up and said, okay, what's with this chart? What is this? What do you think about this? Do y'all go by this? Hey, this is a prophecy.
Right.
The Lord knew that it was going to be people in the last days that come up and say, man, what's this chart, man? What do you mean by these different things? Is it real? You believe in that chart? Right? Read.
Saying to them, thus saith the Lord God.
No, thus saith us.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in thy hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him. And will put them with him.
So this whole chart should be Negro then, right?
No, brother.
The whole thing should be Negro.
Shouldn't, brother.
Even with the stick of Judah, and make them one
They
stick.
all come from
Hey,
Shem, though. They
let me
all
ask you
gonna
a
have
question,
that blood.
right? Watch
They
this.
all gonna be Negro.
Watch this. Who went into captivity in 722 BC?
I don't know.
Right? Can somebody look that up on their phone, Baba Gasha?
722.
No, you can't. You know.
I can't.
Shouldn't that whole thing
Hold on.
be Negro though, right?
We about to see. Because the prophecy, who went into slavery on ships? Don't you know you're an Israelite based off of the curses?
We went over, yeah.
So didn't the so-called Hispanics go into slavery on ships?
I don't know. I didn't hear about
You gotta do your history, brother.
I didn't hear about that.
You gotta do your history. That was right. If you really want to get technical, they went before we did.
That's right.
But they even went after we did too, and they was conquered by the conquistadors by a man named Cortez in 1521 BC.
Khan.
So like not BC, AD.
Khan.
Right? Which is why you got them
So
being
any people
colonized.
that
And
go
that,
through
hold
a
on,
massacre,
brother.
they
No,
automatically
brother.
under
You
the
gotta.
curses.
Hold on, brother. You gotta allow me to explain what we bringing out before you just asking multiple questions in the middle of it.
No, I'm here.
Have patience, King. Have patience. Come on, King. Stay with me. So, somebody, and it's not just somebody that has a massacre. A lot of people would say that the so-called Jewish man, which are the Amalekites, had a massacre, but they didn't go into slavery.
Come hear the words.
So they don't fit what? They don't fit the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 and 60 and Deuteronomy. But guess what? We can say with multiple different facts, multiple different archaeology, history, whatever you want to bring to the table, that the so-called Hispanics went into slavery on ships and have been into slavery with us, literally at the same time. While we was over here getting our backs beat in, that's why I showed you the picture right there. Right? Don't that say no? It says, what does that say? Dogs? Dogs.
Mexican.
No. It says no dogs, Negro,
But they
or
would
Mexicans.
have been
didn't
classified as
It
a
say,
Negroes,
oh,
right?
brother, they wouldn't have.
So why is it a branch
Hold
off?
on.
Why is it Negro
First of all,
and
you saying
Mexican?
that, hold on, listen. Hold on. Yo, you keep saying Negro.
Right.
As a classification. Brother, that only came from the so-called white man in the 1600s when we got rolled over. So just because you keep getting caught up in this classification, you have Hispanics.
But if we going off
brother.
nationalities, I'm gonna be Israelite. The white man gonna be an Edomite.
Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5.
I don't even know if they come from Japheth or what.
In verse 1, keep thy foot.
What the Lord say?
Keep thy foot.
What the Lord say?
Keep thy foot.
Read.
When thou goest to the house of God,
Read.
and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of food.
Brother, you gotta be more ready to hear, brother. You gotta calm down. You can't listen if we talking at the same time. That's why you keep asking all these different questions, because you're not hearing the matter from us.
I'm here. I'm just
Hold on, you gotta be, brother. You gotta practice patience. Real men have patience, brother.
Right.
They practice patience. That's love.
been
That's the
sitting
fruits
there,
of the
I'm
spirit.
patient, you know what I mean?
The fruits of the spirit is temperance and patience. brother.
God.
You gotta practice those different things.
I've been
Hold on,
chilling,
man.
bro.
Come on. Now, like I was saying, in 1521 AD, you had a man named Cortez who conquered, which was a part of the conquistadors who conquered, right, the Hispanics. They wasn't all. You got Spaniards, and then you got so-called Mexicans. That was colonized by the Spaniards. That's the whole reason why they even speak Spanish in the first place. You going off of light skin or dark skin, brother? All of us up here not the same skin color.
It's because one of his parents is mixed. One of them mixed.
So over the process of time, if you have people
And his
being raped,
nationality is
robbed,
going to be
and
by
murdered.
his father.
Exactly.
So if his father a white
hold on,
man-
brother, bring us up. Somebody,
I got a precept too.
I heard brothers what they preach. Right? This is okay. This is right? It said, what happened to the Israelites in 722 BC, right? Look up on your Hispanics or Aztecs. Type in Aztecs or Mexicans. Right? This is the book of, this is just Google, right? It says, what happened to the Israelites in 722 BC? It says, in 722 BC, the northern kingdom was destroyed by the Assyrians, and the population deported as per Assyrian military policy, resulting in so-called loss of 10 tribes of Israel. Judah was destroyed by the Babylonians in 539 BC. So it was two different timelines, and when we went into captivity from the Babylonians, and the so-called northern kingdom, which is the Hispanics and Native Americans, went into captivity to the Assyrians. All right? Does everybody phone in? Type in Hispanic or Mexicans, 722 BC, or the Aztecs. Right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, 13 and 14. Bring us up.
2nd Ezra 13 and verse number 14. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king whom Salmanaser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters.
Over the waters.
And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, right? That they might keep there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land.
You know where that? Where's that land that never mankind dwelt? It's talking about this land that we on right now.
Right.
Who was over here before we even got over here?
Good question.
The Native Americans, right? Who else? Because
even there's black people over here too.
It was a remnant, small remnant. But the point is, brother, you had Native Americans. Everybody know the Native Americans was over here also. What people don't realize, you had Hispanics over here too. Right. Otherwise, when the conquistadors came over here, how did they colonize the Mexicans? Right.
So, this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33.
Bring it out.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
What?
Were oppressed together.
Right? We were oppressed together. Aren't we being oppressed together in this same land that we in right now? Brother, you must not know that. You must not understand. So, hold on. So the Hispanics just wasn't at the border less than 2 years ago, less than 3 years ago, at the border being shipped back to so-called Mexico, and their parents being shipped back to Mexico, right? And then the kids was being held in cages,
Ice.
in cages, and given aluminum foil for cover. Isn't that a part of the curses of Deuteronomy 28, where it says, your children shall be given unto another people, and there shall be no might in thy hand?
Wasn't that just for the Negroes, and then the 400-year curse was lifted off?
Brother, that 400-year curse was all the way in during the time of Egypt. Right. What'd you say?
Still got CPS today.
Right. You literally still got CPS today.
I know, but it's
That's
people
right.
That's
right.
That's awake, and it's people that's still under the curses.
So that wasn't a part of. They still under the curses.
But they not Israelites.
Why? Why don't you think they're Israelites? Because we just brought out a multitude. We went to the history.
I got one more too.
Right. Oh, sorry. Bring it up.
It's because whoever taught y'all.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, chapter 13.
Bring that out.
Verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Talking about Israel being different shades. Everybody's not gonna be a Negro.
Right. So, brother, you gotta understand. We literally just broke down to you.
No, you know they gonna be a Negro, but you know they gonna be different shades because albinos.
Brother, they have Negro descent.
Right. But no Mexican ain't no Negro.
You literally have Hispanics that are of Negro descent.
Right.
Literally.
So if
even
person
if we
had
don't even
Negro in their
advocate,
DNA,
we don't even advocate this different stuff. They call themselves
Afro-Latino.
That's right. That's right.
So are they? So they
But
steal
I'm
from
talking
the
about
tribe
like
of Issachar.
The documentary was fire.
Hispanic people.
Brother, that's Israelites, brother.
So was Samson Mexican? Was he a Mexican?
Brother,
Was Samson a Mexican or not?
Hold on, brother. Before we get to this.
I'm just asking questions.
Hold
You're
on,
supposed
I
to be a
got
teacher, ain't you?
Hold on. I got you.
I thought you had the spirit.
Hold on. You talking about me?
No, I'm talking to him.
Hold
right
on. I'm the speaker, brother.
I know, but I was addressing him though.
Hold on. Let's deal with order, brother.
Let's get it.
Let's deal with order. So first, let's get some of this stuff.
Nah, I was talking to you, bro.
Hold on,
I said,
hold
do
on.
you got the
Keep
spirit?
Order, brothers keep order, man. So listen, right? We brought to you in the scriptures how the 10 tribes came over here on ships, right? Those 10 tribes being from well, on this chart you got Simeon on down, including Dan. You already acknowledged that Native Americans was over here first, right? Hispanics, even history will tell you this, was so-called, I'm gonna put emphasis on that, so-called Hispanics, right? Was over here also, already. So that prophecy has to be about them. We can't say, oh, that was to us, because all of us wasn't over here yet.
Right.
So that has to be talking about nobody else except the Native Americans and the Hispanics.
So do y'all know what tribes y'all come from?
We have a general idea. At the end of the day, when the kingdom comes, nobody, I might have to walk through the tribe of, I might have to walk through the gate of Levi.
Yeah.
You feel me? I might have to walk through like the brother said, Benjamin.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you feel me? As far as we can go back, that's what we know. You feel me? So we say, hey, we're from the tribe of Judah, because that's what we know from right now. But hey, and when kingdom come, Adawan Atazah, we make it. Hey, all things will be established in that time and in that day.
That's right.
All right, brother. Right, you know you gotta keep these commandments, right?
Yeah.
Give me, because we talking about all this other different stuff. Right? You asking all these questions.
I
brother,
mean,
you gotta wear some fringes, brother.
Right.
You gotta get you some
But
fringes.
that was
kid.
for the people that didn't keep the law, though.
No, brother.
You know, the ones that forgot it. They
go
wore
to,
that, so when they look down at it, they can remember.
Give me Matthew chapter 14.
Do that to all your generations.
Hold on.
Didn't they have those?
Hey, brothers, keep order. Give me Matthew chapter 14 and the last verse.
Because whenever they look down at the fringes,
So let me ask you a question.
they'll remember the law.
Right. So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did Yahweh Shah have to remember the law? Did Christ have to remember the law?
He kept the whole thing.
But I'm asking you because you said it was only for people who had to remember the law. So did he have to remember the law? Did he have trouble
Well, that
with
was
the law?
nah. I don't think
He didn't have trouble with the law,
I don't
right?
think he had trouble.
Right, he didn't have trouble with the law.
But that was for the people that didn't remember it.
Right, all right.
That was going against it.
Okay, so watch this. Bring us up.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 14 and verse 36.
Bring that out.
And besought him that they might only touch the hem,
What?
the hem,
What?
the hem of his garment.
In the Greek, that helm is going into what? A fringe. So why did Christ have fringes on? If it was only for the people who had trouble
When he
remembering.
came, he was keeping the Torah.
So brother, don't we gotta be like them?
But that was in that land.
No, brother. No, brother.
So we gotta.
No, brother.
So we ain't doing that no more.
No, we gotta do it, brother. We gotta wear fringes, brother. It's the law, right? Give me the law in Numbers chapter 15, 36.
Numbers 15 and verse 38.
Bring it out.
That means that we doing everything by works, though, right?
Hold on, let the word.
Speaking to the children of Israel and bid them.
And what?
And
bid
You
them.
know what that word bid means in the Hebrew? It means command. Literally, right? So bid them, meaning command, read.
That they make them fringes in the borders of the garments
Right.
throughout their
It
generations.
said throughout their generations, right? Like the brother said, are we still generating as a people? Yeah. So read.
Throughout their generations. In that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Right? That's what you see us having up here right now. Right?
Right.
It said throughout their generation. And it said bid them, meaning command them. Right? If you trying to walk after Yahweh Shah and be like Yahweh Shah, don't you got to do the things that he did? He kept the law, didn't he? To the best of his ability. He kept the whole law. So guess what? We got to follow after him in those same footsteps and keep the law to the best of our ability. We just went through that. We not making Christ to none effect. We put him on the pedestal, man, and we serve him, right? And we use him.
That's right.
We repent when we go off. We repent, right, in our foolishness and our wicked deeds that we do. But we still try to keep and perform the law to the best of our ability.
That's right.
That's right.
Didn't he do that?
Yeah.
So, hey, we got to do that, brother.
That's right.
So, brother, you got to get you some fringes, brother.
I appreciate it.
Bring it up.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 3.
Bring it out.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar. Is a liar. And the truth is not in him.
So we gotta, you know a man by his fruits.
Right.
How he treating his brother.
So that would
how
make
he
everybody a habitual liar that don't keep one statute of the law.
treating- We already went through this earlier.
No, but I'm saying,
You gotta
if you don't keep it, if you under grace
No.
by your Hawashah, right,
Right.
and you don't keep a certain law, you know, in your mind you not keeping it.
Everybody's sinners. That's why we gotta repent each and every day and continue to be better.
So everybody's still sin. So everybody's still
There's
walking
none.
in
Yeah.
willful sin.
No, we
How
don't
you
sin on
still a
purpose. You don't sin. We don't break the Sabbath day on purpose. We don't break the Sabbath day. I don't want to decide, but we keep it to the best of our ability. But the Lord in the book of Pharaoh, he even said that the thought of foolishness is sin.
Yeah.
You can't control your thoughts. So when you think of what you thought, that's off, man. I repent for that. You didn't do that on purpose. You didn't think that thought on purpose. Right? You know. Right? But the point is, brother, right? Just like we brought out, hey, faith and works walk hand in hand, right? Somebody give me second edges. Somebody give me second edges 9 and 37.
This is 1 John, chapter 5, and verse 17.
Bring it out.
All unrighteousness is sin.
Right? See that? So bring give me second edges chapter
9.
That's right. 9 and 37.
9 and 37.
Bring it out.
Notwithstanding, the law perish not.
He said what?
The law
Perish
perish not,
The law does not perish, read.
but remaineth
In its force.
They remain in its course. Now jump up to verse 7.
9 and 7, 6, the second address. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved,
Everybody that shall be saved, read.
and shall be able to escape by his word.
By his what?
By his works.
Right, by his word. But it's not just works, though. It's not just works. We don't teach that. We don't preach that. We don't advocate for that. You cannot be saved strictly off of your works. But read.
And by faith.
And by what?
And
by faith.
And by what?
And by faith.
But by his works and his faith, because they walk hand in hand together. Right? So it's not a, oh, so if you break one law, then you're a habitual liar. Brother, we all lie. We all sinners at the end of the day, because we can't keep the law to a T. That's why he had to die for us in the first place.
Right.
Because we couldn't do it. And the grace period is just a time period for you to get yourself together. Hey, once that time period is up, it's over. Right?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, and verse 14.
Bring it out.
For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable,
Right.
and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presses down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind, that musteth upon many things.
Right.
And hardly do we guess aright at the things that are upon earth, and with labor do we find the things that are before us.
Right.
But the things that are in heaven,
Right.
who hath searched out?
Right? The things that are in heaven who have searched out. At the end of the day, our thoughts that we have in all these different things, like, read that last verse again.
Verse number 16. And hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon earth.
Hey, hardly do we guess it right, man. Hardly, hey, we don't know everything.
Right.
Right? We don't know all the things haven't been revealed unto us. Right? That's why even in the scriptures in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, it tells you we see through a glass that's dark. Right, read?
And with labor do we find the things that are before us, but the things that are in heaven, who hath searched out.
Right? But search those things out.
Chiefly, I was going into body. The corruptible body pressing down
God.
the spirit too.
God.
We can't keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities.
Gone. Right? We can't, if we could keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments to a T, there would be no need for Christ to die. It'd have been to none of it, but it would have been for no reason. He wouldn't have to die, but he had to do those different things.
Alright.
Right?
I'm gonna ask y'all one more question, then I'm gonna head out. So,
Okay.
what y'all think about this?
Hold on, so like you, real quick.
Yeah.
My bad, I don't mean to cut
Nah,
you
you
off.
good, go ahead.
Are you willing to get you some fringes, brother?
Yeah, if y'all can tell me where to get some.
God, we'll tell you where to get some.
Huh?
No, I seen something like online and all of that.
Yeah, you get this different.
I need a
but we got you.
seamstress.
We got you.
Okay.
But what's your question?
So what y'all think about those other sects that say that Messiah is an idol? What y'all think about them different
Let's
sects?
say that. What? You talking about Negro only Israelites?
Yeah, they say that Messiah is a whole idol.
They say they only supposed to worship the Most High.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what. Give me the book of Numbers. All right, give me the book of Numbers, chapter.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24.
I believe I read 16.
Come on. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 24, and verse number 16.
Right, give me Proverbs 32.
He hath said, which heard the words of Yahweh,
Right.
and knew the knowledge of the Most High,
Right.
which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance,
Right.
but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now.
Right.
I shall behold him, but not now.
Right.
There shall come a star out of Jacob.
Right. Who was that star that came out of Jacob?
Yahweh.
That's right. They tell you that. Somebody give me Revelation chapter 22.
Yeah.
All right, I want Revelation chapter 22, and I believe I'm 14, maybe.
Book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
No, that's
Give
verse
me
16.
22 and 16, come.
The book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 16. I, Yahweh Shai, I sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David,
Right.
and the bright and morning star.
And the bright and morning star. Right. Give me, that's in Matthew. Give me Matthew chapter 1. Actually, Matthew chapter 2 and verse 2. I believe.
Book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
And it reads, the book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 2, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews?
Right.
For we have seen his star in the east.
It said we have seen his star in the east. That's that star that comes out of Jacob. Yeah. Right. Now let's go back to it. Right.
Numbers chapter 24 and verse number 17. Bring it on.
Bring it up.
There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
That
and shall,
that scepter is signifying strength, rulership. Right. We don't.
and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Shem. And Edom shall be a possession.
Right.
Seir also shall be a possession.
So it said this star that's supposed to come out of Jacob is going to destroy these different nations, and it's going to have these nations in captivity, in slavery. Right. We don't.
For his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion.
Right. Straight like that. Right. Bring this up. Proverbs 30 and 2. 30 and what? 30 and 2.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 2. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man.
Proverbs might be 32.
There ain't no Proverbs 32. Oh, verse 32.
Verse 32.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 32. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 4. Who have ascended up into heaven?
Right, it said, who has ascended up into heaven? Right, read on.
Or who have descended?
Right.
Who hath gathered the wind in his fist?
Right.
Who hath bound the waters in a garment?
Right.
Who hath established all the ends of the earth?
Who has power wrapped up in their hands? Right? Who governs the earth and has all this power? Read.
What is his name?
Right, says, what is his name? Hey, his name is Yahweh, right? And
right.
Read.
And what is his son's
He
name?
said, and what is his son's name? Right? Yahweh son.
Right.
He's that here. Right?
This is 1 John. This is 1 John chapter 5 and verse 9.
Read on.
If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater. For this is the witness of God, which he hath testified of his Son. He that believeth on the Son of God hath the witness in himself.
Right.
He that believeth not God hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son.
They're a liar, man. Right? And in the scripture, even when you read it in the book of 1 John, it tell you that there are antichrists.
Many antichrists.
Right? They're antichrist. Why? Because they don't believe in Christ. Right?
Yeah.
For this is the record that God hath given us eternal life,
Right.
and the life and the life is in his Son.
Right.
He that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son hath not life.
Right? Straight like that. can't do nothing without his son. Right? How you, if you're an Old Testament Israelite, where's your altar at? And where's all the sacrifices that you gotta do? Right? You gotta, you know, all those different sacrifices that you have to do, man. And if you're not a priest, you can't do it. Right. You gotta be a Levite. So bring us up.
Isaiah 63 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Who is this that cometh from Edom? Who with dyed garments from Muslim?
Right.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Right.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel?
Said, why are you red in your apparel? Right? Who is this coming from Edom? And he's red in his apparel, meaning what? Bloody. Right, read on.
And thy garments, like him that treadeth in the wine vat. I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me.
He said, I've treaded the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me, man. Read on.
For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
It said, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments. Read.
And I will stain all my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart.
For the what?
For the day of vengeance is in my heart.
It said, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, man. The day of vengeance is in the Most High God's heart, and it's in the heart of his son. Right, read?
And the year of my redeemed is come.
It said the year of his redeemed is come. Right? It's like hold that. We need Isaiah chapter 53.
Isaiah chapter 53.
Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 1. Who have believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
Right.
For he shall go up before him as a tender plant.
Right. It said as a tender plant.
And as a root out of a dry ground.
Right. Drop down to verse 4.
Verse 4. Surely he hath borne our griefs.
It says, surely this particular person hath borne our griefs as a people. Right? Who in the Old Testament borne our griefs? Yes. We are the Israelites.
Who else bore our griefs in the Old Testament?
Nobody. Exactly. That's the point. That's because it's a prophecy. Right. About one man who's going to take on all our griefs. You know?
And carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken. Smitten of Yahweh.
Smitten of who?
Smitten of Yahweh.
Who was stricken and smitten of Yahweh and had to borne our griefs? It's talking about Christ, you know?
And afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions.
He said this man is going to be wounded for our transgressions. They can't say that that's talking about David.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That's not talking about David. It's not talking about Solomon. Solomon had 40 years of peace when he reigned.
Right.
King David, was leaping over walls, tearing people up. He killed so many people and was so mighty in battle that he couldn't even build the temple because he had too much blood on his hands. So it's not talking about David. It's not talking about Solomon. Who are you talking about? Because that's who they say.
So I'm just talking about Yahweh. I never understand why they say it's David. I'll be like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Because they don't. Because the Lord said, "Hey, my sheep hear my voice. I know them and they follow me." It wasn't meant for them to get it. Right? Hey, matter of fact, give me that in go back to Romans chapter 11.
This book of Romans chapter 11 and verse number 9. And David said, "Let their table be made a snare."
Jump up to 8 or 7. This verse.
According as it is written, Yahweh hath given them the spirit of slumber.
He gave them the spirit of slumber, read.
Eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And David said, "Let their table be made a snare and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back all ways."
Right.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Yahweh forbid.
All right, that's it on that, right? Now, I want to go up to verse 6.
Verse number 6. And if by grace, then is it no more of works.
Right.
Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work.
Right, read on.
What then Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it.
Right, the election have obtained it. So it's only going to be an elect amount of people that understand that, hey, Christ is real. That understand that, hey, we have a Messiah, right? That understand that the Most High God has a son, right? Only in the election. And
Reading on in verse number 7. And the rest were blinded.
And what?
And the rest
Were blinded.
And the rest were blinded. So they don't get it. They can't get it. Why? Because they blinded. They blinded from being able to see that. That's why when you read on in this account, it said it was a snare laid unto them, right? It was a stumbling block. Just like some, not all, but some of the Pharisees.
Yeah.
They didn't believe. Those was like, and I really don't even want to say this because a Pharisee is not just somebody that denies the Messiah. Because Paul was a Pharisee. That's just somebody who's a doctor of the law, basically. Right. That's all that is. A Pharisee is not. It's a bad representation. Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's all. It's not nothing like necessarily bad or nothing like that. But like I was saying, some of the Pharisees didn't believe. They was your modern day Negro only Israelites.
All right.
Modern day. Or so like not Negro only, but Old Testament only, or I'll put it like they just didn't believe in the Messiah. Put it that way. They was your modern day. You still got those same spirits back on the earth now. That's why you got some that, hey, they blinded. The election have attained it, like these brothers that you see before you and yourself. Right? We believe in Yahweh.
That's right. That's right.
Right? But guess what? Hey, the rest, they was blinded from.
So do any of y'all know what the mark of Cain is?
The mark of Cain?
Yeah.
Gone. Right? Give me the book of Genesis. Right? Chapter, I believe that's give me Genesis chapter, go to 4.
Book of Genesis.
So like before we get that, the mark of Cain, right? We believe is going into him having so-called leprosy, to being that for being able to, because the mark that was placed upon Cain, everybody had to know what it was.
Yeah.
Because they had to be able to understand, oh, this man has a mark on him.
Right, so they wouldn't kill him.
Exactly. So I mean, if that's not it, somebody can enlighten me on what else they may think that mark is talking about. That's why we say even too, like spiritually, that same spirit that Cain has is that same spirit that Esau has now. Right? That mark. That's why Esau came out what? Red all over like a hairy garment, aka so-called white man, like a so-called white man, because it's not actually white, but right, he was of a different complexion, right, than his brother was, because they was twins, right? Even in the scriptures, what's the name was twins? Cain and Abel was twins.
Yeah.
Even when you read about that. So give me 4 and
Genesis 4:15.
Bring it out.
And the Lord said unto them, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain,
right,
vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. Now, when you read this account, it's not going to say, and I marked him with leprosy. Some things you just got to see through the spirit. Right? You got to have discernment about these different things. Everything is not going to be plain upon tables, just like how it don't say so-called African Americans and Negroes are the Israelites. It don't say that in the Bible. But you use what? Hey, use the clues that the Most High gave us through the scriptures and your spiritual, like we like to say, your spiritual lenses.
Right.
That's very much it.
I got another one too. So y'all know about Nimrod and the whole one world thing, right?
Right.
Do you think that Esau killed Nimrod? Nimrod's spirit joined with the seed line of the fallen, so that they can create a new world order?
No.
When they all basically merge and all of these people together when Antichrist comes.
Nah, and one thing about the Antichrist, I mean, it's not no one Antichrist that's just gonna come. Like we just brought out, it's many Antichrists.
What's the ones that's in Revelations?
Let me answer. I got you. Negro only Israelites, or so like I keep saying Negro only. Old Testament Israelites, they're Antichrist. Why? Because they don't believe in Christ. Atheists, they Antichrist. People who believe in Islam. And believe in Buddha, Brahma, Shiva, Krishna, and all these different. Guess what? They Antichrist. Why? Because they don't believe in the Messiah. That's all an Antichrist. Antichrist literally means you're anti, which means you don't associate, or you don't want, or you don't like Christ. That's all that is. It's not some big like white man that look like Caesar Borgias who will come.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say that the man of perdition, the one that's in Revelation.
Well, the man of perdition is walking amongst us.
Right. There he is.
They walking amongst us every day. They just haven't been revealed as the worst people on the face of the earth.
So y'all know when
Hold on,
Psalms
real quick, because I didn't answer your first point.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
I didn't answer your first point. You asked me about Nimrod, if I feel like he joined his spirit with Esau, and that's why they both doing the same thing. No. No. That's just a matter of wickedness, and that basically, how can I put this? You gotta realize when Nimrod was on the earth, there wasn't an Edomite. When Nimrod was on the earth, from number, that was before that. That's during the time of matter of fact, give me that in Genesis chapter 8. If I'm not mistaken, I ain't read that account in so long.
Let's look at Genesis chapter 8, starting at verse number.
Right. Right, because Nimrod came out of him.
Yep.
Right? Genesis chapter 10. So like, go to Genesis chapter 10 and 8. Read 8.
Genesis 10 and 8.
Bring it out.
And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
So that's talking about Nimrod. Cush and Nimrod descend from him.
Yeah.
So-called Africans, modern day today. Now I want you to jump to chapter 11 and verse 11 and verse 3.
Chapter 11 and verse 3 of Genesis. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them.
Right now, drop that and go to John chapter 8 and verse 44, because I wouldn't say it was necessarily them joining their spirit to Esau. It's just Satan, the spiritual demon Satan continuing to do what he's supposed to do, basically.
Yeah.
Right, because Satan is not just right now. We say the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because the word devil just means deceiver.
Right.
Right. And who's the biggest deceiver upon the face of the earth? So-called women. Right. Because you gotta realize, even in the scriptures, the Lord called Israelites the seed of the devil. Right. Bring this up.
John chapter 8 and verse 44.
Bring it out.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
Right.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Right. Now he was talking to Israelites when he said that. Why? Because the spiritual demon Satan was working on them. Yep. Just like what I would say to your question is, you got the spiritual demon Satan that was just working on Nimrod. Same thing when what's the name came? When Esau came.
Yeah, when Esau. Yeah.
Right. So that's all that. I wouldn't say they like joined spirits. It's just Satan.
Satan was working close.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. You got any more questions, or you good?
So y'all know about the
Hey, the brother come over here. Hey.
No,
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's good.
These other nations, like, I don't know about all the old biblical nations and all that.
Right.
So y'all know when it's in Psalms 93 or 83, it says that all of those nations are confederate against you.
Right.
Don't you believe that some of those nations are on that list that's confederate against Israel solely?
Wait, you elaborate.
So you know when it says that these nations are confederate against
Right, that's Psalms 83.
Right. Don't you believe that some of those nations are on there?
You said some of these nations?
If they don't directly come from Shem, right? Because some of the other ethnicities.
Well, you gotta realize, brother, the Edomites come from Shem too.
Right. That's true.
You feel me? It's not just you feel me? It's more. We're not the only ones that come from Shem. Shem had a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Right? They come. The Edomites come from Shem. The so-called, like the brother said, the Chinese man and the Japanese man, they come
Jacob's
from Shem.
son, though.
You said, huh?
I said it was Jacob's son.
You said it was Jacob's son. Nah, Jacob's son is the Israelites, the 12 tribes. He had 12 children. Right? You gotta get with the lineage. The lineage, it goes Abraham, three sons. Yeah.
I mean, Jacob and Esau is related.
Yeah, they related. But they both come from who?
They came from what's his name?
It went between the three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
They came from Noah.
Well, Khan, you're not wrong. They did. They came from Noah. But which one of Noah's sons did they come from?
Who are you talking about?
Esau and Jacob.
Oh, they came from Shem.
Exactly. So I mean, you can't say like did they come from somebody other than Shem or nothing like that? Because I mean, some of them came from Shem.
So how do y'all know these people's exact nationalities? Like from biblical perspective, like a Girgashite. Who is a Girgashite today?
Girgashite today, that's a mighty ass question.
Because I be trying to figure it out.
Give me type in Girgashite. Right? You got the Jebusites, those are Hamites, 80% from Ham. Girgashites, most likely.
Perizzites, I forgot. There's a lot of them.
And go back to, as a matter of fact, go back to Genesis chapter, I believe, what was that, 10? So they come from Ham.
Right? They come from
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10.
Just to be annoying and vexed.
Book of Genesis, chapter 10, and verse number 15.
Get out.
And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, in Hem, and the Jebusite.
Right, you know about Zidon, like the countries Tyre and Zidon, right? They come from Ham. Them are Hamite descent, which are so-called Africans. You know?
And the Jebusite.
Right, the Jebusites.
And the Amorite.
Was Ham?
You said, huh?
Tyre came from Ham?
Yeah, Tyre and Zidon.
I thought Tyre was, I thought he was Edomite. That whole land up there was Edomite. It wasn't.
Tyre and Zidon. Right, we just bring it out again.
Gone. Genesis 10 and verse number 15. And Canaan begat Zidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite,
right?
And the Hivite, and the Arkite, and the Sinite.
So the Girgashites are him. Yep. Right? They so-called Africans.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right? Hey, Kai, hey, we gotta get in the lineage, man. Get in the lineage of this thing, right? Bring this up.
It's the book of Deuteronomy.
Hold on. I want this one first.
First Chronicles, chapter 1, and verse 13.
Bring it out.
And Canaan begat Zidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite also, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite.
And the Girgashites, right? Bring this up, man.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right, those are all the nations of Canaan. Right? So that's what they just said.
Well, I appreciate that, y'all. That's how bless y'all.
All right, brother. Right, the Israelites.
Shalom, King.
Touch the commandments, brother.
Lord gave us to
Shalom. Stay safe. Right, so, hey, all praise to the Most High, man. Brother, hey, Israelite comes up with 1,000 questions. Literally.
That's the title.
Right, so let me get, I want, give me the book of, somebody hold, Leviticus chapter 3 again. Leviticus 3 and, I believe 12. And I want Baruch chapter 4, verse 28 again. Or so like, not 28, but yeah, 28.
Book of Baruch.
Start at verse 25.
That's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse number 25.
Bring it out.
And it reads thus. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you.
Right, so we gotta suffer patiently the wrath that has come against us in these last days. Right, we gotta suffer patiently in this captivity. And through the visit unto hosts the demons, right? And you got sincere brothers that come up in these last days. That's our whole point and reason of coming out here is to do the work of the Lord and seal the elect and slay the wicked. Right, brothers is going through it. Brothers struggling with a multitude of different things. Everybody is, man. Right, all the Israelites, and we all under the curses at the end of the day.
Right.
Right, but we gotta suffer patiently the things that has come upon us in these last days. Right, read on.
from Yahweh, for thy enemy hath persecuted thee.
Right? Hey, obviously we're being persecuted by the enemy in these last days.
Hey,
man.
con.
Right?
Con.
They persecute us, man. Read.
But shortly thou shalt see his destruction.
What the Lord say?
But shortly thou shalt see his destruction.
Hey, surely we gonna see their destruction, man.
That's right.
Right, read.
And shalt tread upon his neck.
Straight like that, read.
Verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock,
Right.
caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh, for you shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
Read.
For as it was in your mind to go astray from Yahweh,
Right.
so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
So we gotta seek the Most High 10 times more in these last
Right.
days, making sure we leveling up, making sure we doing the things that we supposed to be doing in these last days, man.
Right.
That's
Not
right.
staying stagnant in this truth. Right, we gotta seek the Most High 10 times more because it was our minds to go straight. Right, this captivity not gonna be forever, man. Right, and we gotta suffer patiently the things that the Most High God has brought upon us. Right, for the ones that's persecuting us, hey, they gonna soon, hey, they gonna come down, and we gonna see their destruction. Right, we got Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 11.
It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
And it reads, it's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 11.
Read up.
Bear with me, y'all.
The sun and moon stood still in their habitation.
Right.
At the light of thy arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land in indignation.
Right.
Thou didst stretch the heathen in anger.
What the Lord do?
Thou didst stretch the heathen
in
What
anger.
the Lord do?
Thou didst stretch the heathen in anger.
Read.
Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation of thine anointing.
And with that, come yourself.
Come yourself.
Come yourself.
Come yourself.
Come yourself.
Come yourself.